Hello. I'm just making sure that you guys can see my screen okay and that this is working. Give me 1 second. Let me get my screen on here for you. Let me see if I can do this. Say hello. As you join, say hello. Let me know you're here. And then just give me a second. I'm going to see if I can get this working. I'm trying to figure out how to get you guys to be able to see my screen. I haven't used this before for this, so give me a quick second. As you guys are on, say hello. Okay, let me see if I can get this working. I want to share this screen with you guys. It doesn't look like it is sharing it. Give me a second. I probably should have figured out how to do this first. If you guys are here, say hi in the comments. I'm just trying to see. All right. Let me see if that worked. Okay. I don't know how to make it bigger, but okay, there we go. I think this is as big as I can get it. Oh my Lord, you guys. This was fun. This was fun trying to figure this out. Let me see if I can make this bigger for you guys. A little bit here. I don't know. Let me know if that is helpful at all. For those of you guys watching, it looks a little bit bigger now, so I think this might be good for you guys. I hope. Okay. I'm looking at my phone. It looks like it's pretty good. That was a lot of fun. I probably should figure this out next time. Okay. I wanted to do a behind the scene. Let me just tag everybody. I wanted to do a behind the scene kind of walkthrough through the sales school. This is a new program we have rolling out, and I'm pretty excited about it. We've had about over 50 people jump on to the wait list. By the way, just opened last night. And I'm just typing here. Give me 1 sec. I'm just making sure everybody can see this. Behind the scenes of sales school. Okay. I am fired up about this. So we actually opened up the wait list last night for sales school. And in that time, in less than 24 hours, we have actually had over 50 amazing women jump on that list. And so we've also had a lot of questions like, when does this open up? When does it begin? Who is it for? What's going to be covered? If I'm in a coaching program, do I need this? We've had a lot of questions. So what I wanted to do was walk through the curriculum for the next cohort, which begins January 2023. And registration is actually opening up pretty soon. So we have a cohort that's going to begin January 2023, but we're going to open up registration so people can save their spots and begin the pre-work and just preparation for this. We are going to be opening that registration up shortly. If you're on the wait list, you'll be the first to know about this. We are encouraging anyone who's interested in this to request the waitlist link and get on the waitlist, because we only are opening this next cohort round. We are going to be opening it up to 20 people, and I believe the max is 25. But we are going to cap it. It's going to be a really small, intimate time together. And so it's going to be a little bit of a small group. I believe we're doing 20, max of 25, maybe it's max of 30, I can't remember, but somewhere between there. And then you'll have to wait until 2024 to join us when the next cohort round begins. So if you are on the wait list for this, I know like over 50 of you are already on the wait list. If you're on the wait list for sales school, what I want you to understand is you will be, hi Leslie, you will be the first to know when the registration opens. And if it's something you want to do, you can get your spot. And like I said, we are capping it for the year. The cohort round for 2023 will be maxed at 20 to 30 spots, preferably between 20 and 25. And then everyone that does not get a spot in January will have to wait till January 2024. So I wanted to answer questions. And also I wanted to give you a peek behind the scenes of what is covered in this program. What are we going to be covering and teaching you inside sales school? And also who it's for. We've had so many questions and we just told everybody about this last night. So I want to make sure we answer that so that you can decide, is this something that you need alongside your coaching program or your current mentorship program? Is sales school something that you need or not as you enter January 2023? And then any questions you have as I go through this, please drop it in the comments and let me know. I don't want anyone to miss this if it is something that you need. So who is sales school for? It is for established coaches, consultants, and full-time social sellers. So the whole entire program or point behind sales school is to teach you sales skill. We are going to be teaching you how to sell. We're going to be teaching you human behavior, sales techniques, and strategies, as well as mindset. We are going to be walking you through how to rapidly increase your sales growth using human behavior, sales psychology techniques, language, and strategies. It is not something that anybody else is teaching. This is not something that is taught generally amongst a traditional coaching program. Traditional sales coaches do not teach these strategies. They don't teach the psychology. They don't teach the human behavior. I pretty much can confidently say that because I've been in all of the programs. I've also watched what they teach inside their programs. I've also worked for a lot of them, and nobody is teaching this. Everyone is teaching sales strategies, but nobody is teaching human behavior, sales psychology skills. And so a lot of people are just not making as much money as they could, and it's happening super hard, and it's taken forever, and we're getting a bunch of objections, a bunch of excuses, and I need to wait, and the sales time is just taken forever, and so it's feeling hard to sell in today's space. And I just want to say that's usually because you have a lot of sales strategies and you know a lot of stuff, but you don't have the sales skills to back it up. Okay, so I want to walk you guys through. That's who it's for. Basically, if you are a coach, a consultant, or a full-time seller, if you sell in the online space, if you sell a service, this is absolutely for you. Is it for you if you're in a coaching program? Is this for you? Should you be in sales school if you already have a mentor or coach? My answer is yes, if that person is not helping you increase your sales, and if you are not selling and making the amount of money you want, and if that is not feeling the way you want, and if it's not as easy as you want it, and if you're struggling in the sales department at all, then yes, this would be for you. And I just want to say, again, I want to remind you guys, most programs like coaching and mentorship out there, most of them teach you strategy. There's I don't even know anyone that teaches fundamental sales, psychology, and human behavior training inside of their coaching programs. So oftentimes the people that come to me have already been in programs, right? They've been in coaching programs. They've taken a bunch of courses. Most of them are already working with a mentor in some capacity, but they're still struggling to make money. They're still struggling to sell. They're still struggling to find their place in a very saturated and crowded online space. And so that is because traditional coaches are not teaching this type of sales. They're not teaching you the skills. They're not teaching you the science. They're not teaching you human behavior. And the reason for that is because that's not their specialty. Most coaches don't go to school to become human behavior sales psychology specialists. That's been my background for 20 years now. So I just have a different type of background. And I am noticing in all of the thousands and thousands of coaches and consultants that I've worked with, as well as the multiple 7 and 8 figure companies that I've worked inside of and taught their sales teams and their clients. What most people are missing right across the board is sales skills. They don't understand human behavior. They don't understand neutral language. They don't understand sales psychology. And they've invested a ton of money in coaching programs and courses, and yet they still don't know this stuff. So I just want you guys to understand that sales strategy is not sales skills. And I think that we need to be identifying the difference, because people think when they join a coaching program, that's going to teach you how to set up a funnel, and it's going to teach you how to create your content, and it's going to teach you how to, have sales conversations. Those are all strategies. So most programs traditionally out there today, most coaching programs and courses are focused on sales strategies, not sales skill. And what that means is if you don't know how to sell, and you don't know how to effectively communicate, and you don't understand human behavior, and your background is not sales psychology, that a lot of those sales strategies don't work for you, or they don't work that well. And that's because it's just a strategy. Without the skill behind it, the strategy is probably not going to work for you. So I want to be very, very clear that yes, we will be teaching strategy in the sales school, but the focus here is that we're focusing on building your sales skill so that you can literally be successful on any platform, in any career, on, using any strategy inside any economy. We're helping you build sales skill. Okay. So we will teach you strategy because that's part of it. But we are going to be focusing on building your skill so that the strategies you're using, you can put some rocket fuel under them and actually get them working for you. So the way that we look at this is there's 3 phases to effective sales. What we want to do is teach you these 3 phases so that you can have rapid sales growth and that your success is inevitable. And so we call this your sales machine. That means that your sales machine is phase 1 is understanding and skill building around sales. This is where we teach you human behavior sales, principles, techniques, and language that are backed by science. This is not theory. This is not like, oh, hey, I've been doing this for 2 years, it works. This is backed by science sales skills. And these are going to help you create rapid growth with what you're already doing. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to recreate. You don't need to burn it down and build it back up. You can literally just start learning the principles, techniques, and the language, and then apply them to the strategy that all these coaches are teaching you. All the strategies you're using, just apply these skills and these techniques to the strategies that you're already doing that are backed by science. They're proven. It's a formula. And then you're going to end up converting at unheard of rates. So even if you're someone where you're like, I have done all the strategies, I have invested in so many things, and I'm still having a hard time. Even if you're making money, I work with millionaires who are still struggling to monetize. It doesn't matter where you're at financially. You're either struggling to generate the sales that you want or make the money you want, or you've hit a plateau. Right? You've gotten yourself as far as you can get you. And what I want you guys to understand is a simple, basic understanding of sales skills. Hi, Jennifer. Techniques and language can literally turn all this around for you. So that's the first phase. The second part of the sales machine is your sales strategy. So yes, we want you to make money. We want you to generate sales faster, easier, way more consistently. In a way that's aligned with you, and it's not sacrificing your values, right? So obviously, once you understand the principles, the techniques, and the language of human behavior sales selling, then we want to apply that underneath the strategy that you're already using. Most of you are working way, way hard to generate really not that much as far as sales. And what we want to do is, I feel like, learning these skills is going to put rocket fuel under the strategies you're already doing. You're already working really hard. You might as well make more money, right? You're already doing the work. You're creating the content. You're going live. You're building your audience. You're selling your offers. You're already working really hard. why not make it work better for you? And also you work less. So by building these skills, applying them underneath actual strategies that are sales strategies that you're using, and then creating sales systems around it. So one thing I always tell my clients is you can have all the strategies in the world. Hi, Julia. You can learn every strategy in the world. You can learn from every mentor in the world. You can download every free PDF, every free training or masterclass. You could spend your whole life learning a lot of stuff and still not make the money that you want. I know because I did that. And I've worked with thousands of coaches who feel the same way. They've learned a ton. They know so much. One thing I always say is your knowledge is a $0 value if you don't know how to use it. It doesn't matter how much you know, and it doesn't matter how much you learn if you don't know how to make it work for you. If you know all these strategies from all these people you're learning from or coaching with, but you don't know how to make them work for you, then it really is a $0 value. It doesn't mean anything. So we really believe that every good strategy needs to have a system that operates it. Right? I work with thousands of coaches who have a ton of strategies in their business. They're doing a lot. They're working really hard, but they don't have a system around any of it. And so they're constantly hustling. They're constantly reinventing. They're starting over. They're the bottleneck of their business. I have clients who come to me that are doing $1 million and they have social sellers. They have people selling for them and they're still the bottleneck of their company. And their sales team, their performance is low. And it's like you have to have the skill. You have to have the sales skill, the sales strategy, and then a system that operates it all. It just doesn't make sense any other way to work so hard and not put these things in place, right? Like it doesn't make sense. You guys are all working really hard already. Why would you not set things up like a sales machine so that you don't have to work so hard and you'll get way more results? And so a lot of you guys can identify, do you have the sales skill, but you lack strategy? Do you have the strategy, but you lack a system? Are you someone who sets systems up all day long, but the strategy in them is awful? Or maybe you have one of these and not the sales skill. You know where you're at. You know what you're lacking. You know what you could be doing better at. And the truth of the matter is, I haven't come across an entrepreneur yet, even at the multi-million-dollar mark, who has all three of these things in place running like a sales machine. If they did, they would be making all the money they want, constantly growing, constantly scaling, constantly hitting their next level. And you see people plateau. You see people get to a certain point and then they plateau, right? And it's usually because these three phases are just not maximized and monetized 100%. So your sales machine inside of sales school is something we're going to help you put together so that is not your experience. And then the goal and objective of sales school, okay, is we want to teach you human behavior sales techniques and thinking that are not taught in traditional coaching programs and courses. And I say that confidently because I'm friends with these people. I've been in their programs. They've hired me to come in and fix a bunch of their sales breakdowns and their sales leaks. Hi, Justina. I've invested in a ton myself. So no one is teaching this. Nobody is teaching this. Everyone is teaching a tactic or a trendy new thing that just came out, like TikTok or, Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts. Like everyone is teaching a strategy or a tactic or a new trend. And no one is teaching sales skills. What I want for you guys is to be able to sell anything at any given time in any economy. You will never financially in your life struggle if you know how to sell. I can sell a house. I can sell a coaching program. I can sell a product. I can sell a car. I could sell anything because I have a sales skill set. I have a background. It doesn't matter what the thing is. I could do it. And so what we want to do is build that in because then you are not going to be pigeonholed or bottlenecked into, I only know how to sell this one thing this one way in this one platform, in this one economy, and God forbid any of that changes because then I don't know how to do it. That literally doesn't make sense to me, and that's so dangerous. If you know how to sell, then you know how to sell anything inside any economy, on any platform, in any niche. Okay? This is why millionaires, multimillionaires hire me. I don't need to come and take their programs or be, in their space for 10 years to learn how to sell their stuff. I can just go in and start selling. I can go in and find their sales breakdowns because my background is sales. My background is psychology and human behavior. It's not just sales strategy. Okay. I didn't just like, oh, I know some cool strategies that work. And that is traditional coaching. They're just teaching you stuff they've done that works. That doesn't mean it's going to work for you at all. Right. And we all experience that. Right. You do something or invest in something, and then you're like, what the heck? I did exactly what you said and I didn't get results. That's because it's just they're good at that strategy. But strategy is not sales. Okay, strategy is strategy. Sales is a skill set. You're not going to learn it just by putting together strategies that people are teaching you or read in a book. You actually have to build your sales skill. Okay. So we want you to not only feel completely different selling, but we really want you to enjoy it and become incredible at it. We also want to help you shift what you think success requires and takes and lean into alignment and authenticity so that selling feels really natural, it feels really good, and it just feels expected of you, right? Like people expect that you're going to just be incredible at what you do. They want you to sell. They want you to serve. They want you to solve problems. They want you to show up. They're expecting you to do it. We want to help you gain a better sense of your goals, and then what do those goals require, and then what is your fastest path to those goals without sacrificing your values or your lifestyle. So I think it is really critical to understand if you want to make $1 million in your business, why you want to make $1 million, and then what does that look like? What will it require for you specifically to create $1 million in your business? What does that look like for you? And what's the fastest path for you to get there? This is something that most people don't do. They don't really know what their goals are. And if they do, they don't know why those are their goals. I really like to have you design what you want your lifestyle to look like day to day. Like, what do you really want in your life? Do you want a chef? Do you want a daycare? Do you want a housekeeper? Do you want certain days off? Like, what do you want your life to look like? And then what will that life cost? What will that desired life cost you? And then from there, you reverse engineer those goals. Once you know what you want your life to look like, then you can find out how much will that life cost. Then you can say, great, so then my monthly goals in my business is this much. And that will literally create the lifestyle that I want. Hi, Mandy, right? So if you want a housekeeper, if you want, $10,000 in a savings account every single month, go like adding on and stacking. If you want to hire a team, if you want to have a mentor, if you want to take a vacation, if you want weekends off, or maybe you only want to work 3 days a week, maybe there's a certain amount of debt you want to pay off or a house you want to buy. Maybe you want to have a nutritionist or a health coach. Like as you start to think about what do you want in your life, what is that going to cost you? And then from there, create the business that is going to give you that. And so most entrepreneurs don't know what this looks like. They just say, I don't know, I want to make $1 million because everyone around me is talking about $1 million. Or, oh, you know what? I need to make $50,000 a month in my business for me to be successful. And it's like, well, what does success mean to you? What would it mean in your life if you were successful? And then when you add that up and you look at that, is that $50,000 a month? Or maybe it's only $20,000 a month. Or maybe it's 100,000, but don't you need to know? And then from there, once we have that clarity, we can create the fastest path, meaning what is closest to the money? What are your money needle movers? Meaning what activities and strategies of all the things you've learned in your lifetime, what are the ones that are going to move you toward that the fastest in your business? This is something that just I don't know why more people are not doing this, but that's how we decide the goals and how much money you need to make. It isn't by looking at what somebody else is doing and being like, oh, cool, they make $100,000 a month. They run a funnel. They have an ad to a webinar, and from a webinar to an application. Great. That's what I'm going to do. But those things aren't going to work for you if you don't know how to sell, if you don't know how to effectively communicate, if you're not clear on your offer, and if you don't believe people will pay you that, and you don't believe you can charge as much as you're charging, and like you have all this stuff coming up, that isn't even going to work for you. That strategy isn't even going to work for you. Okay? And then ultimately, we want you to learn how to consistently and easily at scale create 6 and 7 figure revenue leaps in your business without you being the bottleneck of all of it. And like I said, I have millionaires right now, multiple millionaires who come to me and are the bottleneck in their business. And honestly, if I'm being completely transparent, I've been in the back of their businesses, coaching their clients, coaching their sales teams, and working on their money leaks. And most of the people that are telling you, oh, I'm making $1 million or multi-millions, they're not even profiting like 200,000 a year. Most of them are broke. Most of them are barely surviving. Like, I've worked for them. I know this. So I'm just saying, like, a lot of smoke and mirrors is in the online space. And a lot of you, it sucks because a lot of you have a lot of great talent, but you're falling into the trap of all the smoke and mirrors that you can just come here, start a business, and within months you could be making millions of dollars with just a funnel and like a webinar. And at the end of the day, it's just not that easy. Okay, if it was, then we'd all be doing that. And I think that there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, and you need to be really, really careful with strategy chasing, right? You have to know what your goals are and what are you willing to do in order to create those goals. 90% of entrepreneurs have these big, big goals, which I think is great, but they're not even willing to do a third of the work it's going to take for those things to be successful. And so then they're just like chasing the next strategy, and they just lack sales skill. Okay, they lack clarity and they lack sales skill. And then if you are a seller, so maybe you're a social seller for yourself or full-time for an employer, what we want for you is to be a top performing, top paying seller inside of that company. Okay, so this is the curriculum. Basically, this is what you're going to learn inside sales school. And what I want you to do, hi Patricia, as I'm going through the curriculum, I want you to figure out what you need. Like, I want you to ask yourself, do I need that, or do I have that dialed in 100%? So this is basically what we're going to teach you inside of this program. And then I'll go ahead and tell you like what it looks like to get on the wait list and all of that. Okay, so the pre-work that we're going to give you, this is what you're going to focus on before the actual curriculum in the program begins. Hi, winner. We want you to be set up with a completely different mindset around sales and selling and your goals and backing into them. So we are going to focus your pre-work as soon as we get you in is going to be all about human behavior, sales psychology. We're going to focus on techniques. We're going to focus on the language. And we're going to focus on sales principles 101. Many of you get objections because of the way that you're selling. It's the way you're talking to people. Many of you get like in good conversations and then people say, I would love to, but, and then insert all the life things. You're getting that because of how you're talking to people and the way that you're talking to people. It's all sales psychology and human behavior. I do not get objections. I do not talk to people that are not ready to buy right now. I don't get, I would love to, but. I don't have any of that stuff in my life. Number one, I'm not available for it. That's a mindset. But number two, I just know how to talk effectively about what I'm going to be teaching people. Okay. So we're going to focus on how to instantly change your mindset around selling and increase your conversions immediately. We're going to talk about the energy around selling, which I like to use what we call the slingshot effect. And it eliminates sales resistance from the people you're talking to. It eliminates it and it increases your sales naturally. We're going to be sharing a few things around like trust. How do you build trust with your audience? What are you doing right now that might be eroding trust, meaning people don't trust you, so they're not going to give you their money? How to let go of control of the call. If you're someone who's super attached and you're trying to get people to do what you want them to do, or you're trying to convince them of why they need to do it, and if they say yes, you're happy. If they say no, you go beat yourself up for a month about it. If you're super attached to the outcome of every person you talk to or every strategy that you do, you have to stop doing that. Okay, because you're just damaging your own sales. We want to show you how to have leadership in your sales conversations. Sales conversations should take 20 minutes max. And if you're taking 20 minutes, you should be closing and collecting payment on the phone or inside of that conversation. If you're sitting on these calls for 30, 40, 50, 60 plus minutes, and you're not even generating a sale, that's a lack of leadership and a lack of boundaries. And also you probably don't have a system or a framework for your calls. And so this is costing, time is money, guys. Time is money, right? You run a business, you don't have time to be sitting on 3-hour calls with people that aren't even going to buy from you. We want to help you learn how to hone skills or of serving versus selling. So I say this all the time, like, are you selling your services or are you selling a solution? And are you, in your offers, are you teaching your experience or your expertise? This is why people are saying no. This is why people are like, yeah, sounds good, but like maybe next year. Like we have to learn how to hone these skills. And then your ideal client has to see themselves doing the work in your program. If you don't know how to effectively communicate what it's going to look like in your program, what they're going to be doing and what it's going to require and what it looks like, they can't see themselves doing it. So they automatically assume, I'm not going to do the work, I'm not going to get the results, so why would I buy? But this comes down to effectively communicating this. You have to know how to talk about it in a way that's going to get them to move. Okay. We want you to understand what sales is and what it's not. I want you to understand premium pricing. Why do we have people raise their prices, double, triple, extremely, like raise your price? There's a reason and a mindset behind that. There's also some science behind this, and that's something we really want you to feel awesome about raising your rates, like as if people are still getting a steal. The basics of human behavior, emotional based questions. So what we're going to teach you in this program is the human behavior questions that are going to have your people that you're talking to persuade themselves to work with you, and you don't even have to say a word. This comes down to, one, asking questions and less talking of you, more listening. It also comes down to the questions you ask and in what order. There is a formula. We have actually a framework for here's exactly how you do your conversations. And my clients close 90 to 95% of their sales calls using that framework. We close 90 to 98% of every conversation we have following that framework for 9 years now. But it comes down, it's not even a strategy. It is simply human-based emotional questions and in a specific order. Most coaches have no clue about this, so they're not teaching you this in the programs. We want to show you how do you build trust fast versus erode it. You can say something that instantly triggers somebody, pisses them off, and now they don't want to even talk to you. Okay? We want to show you how do you say things that are going to build trust really fast and have your people lean in and want to hear more versus eroding their trust and putting up their sales resistance. Okay? Then you're just going to have an extremely hard time getting them over the fence and getting them moving on from that because they don't trust you now. We're going to talk about objections. I will fight everybody on this. Objections are not normal. They are common, but they're not normal. They are common. They're common because you create them. They're common because of the strategies you're using. They're common because of the way you talk to people. Objections happen because you create them. They don't have to happen. You can't 100% eliminate or prevent them, but we, in my program with my clients, we have prevented 90% of objections, okay? And by the way, there's a difference in an objection and a question. Okay, we're gonna teach you how to tip the scale and eliminate sales resistance, making that sale 90% more likely. We're gonna teach you what is your role in the sales process and what is not. What's your role and what is their role? You have to stay in your own lane, and you need to know when you need to be quiet. You need to know when you need to ask a question. You need to know what that question should be. You need to know when you need more clarity. You need to know what your role in leadership is in a sales process versus what is not, okay? Sales feels hard and heavy for a lot of people because they take on full responsibility, and there's stuff that's just none of your business. It's not your responsibility or your job. And when you don't know what those things are, you create a ton of objections in your conversations. We're going to teach you the human-based questions in language. And also, we're going to show you basic sales math and numbers, okay? That's just the pre-work. Hello. That's just pre-work. You're going to do all of that and learn. You're going to have so many shift perspectives and so many myths that you think are true about sales that you've been using that suck and feel crappy and don't work. We are literally busting all of those for you and giving you an entirely fresh perspective on sales. Okay, that's just the pre-work. Once we're done there in January, when the actual cohort begins and training begins, this is the curriculum. We are going to help you create your sales pipeline machine. This is you understanding the difference between an ecosystem versus a database versus leads. These are not the same thing, folks. These are all three very, very, very different things. And this can really mess up your sales when you don't understand these things because they are not created equal. We're going to teach you the top of the funnel, which is how do we grow the audience and call in all these champion clients. We're going to teach you the middle of the funnel, which is the trust build-in. Okay, this is your sales pipeline. And of course, you can see we have a whole bunch of things we're going to be teaching you. We're going to teach you the bottom of the funnel. So the top, the middle, and the bottom. The bottom of the funnel is the sales. This is where financial transaction takes place. It is not a sale until somebody pays you and that money hits your bank account. We're going to show you how do we get more of those happening way faster with a lot less effort. We're going to show you how to book more quality sales conversations so that this is, not an issue or a breakdown in your business. We're going to teach you our objection prevention method and also our objection reversal process. So when you have someone that is coming up with resistance and maybe giving you an objection, which should not be more than 10% of the time, if not just 5% or less. But if it happens, how do you reverse it without acting like a douche or a dick or just being rude or feeling weird or feeling like you're invading their privacy or being aggressive? How do we do that in a really, really authentic way? So we have two systems here that we're going to teach you. Then in the second training, we're teaching you your champion client. So your champion client is really going to come down to the DNA of your ideal client. You creating that client criteria and knowing it in your sleep what that is. If you have sellers, they need to know all of this as well. And then what are your qualifying pillars so that you can quickly, really rapidly, fast identify a champion client versus a non-ideal client. Fast, seconds, okay? So we're going to walk you through that. We're going to help you set up your CEO priorities. This is your CEO schedule. This is your goals, your profit possibility calculator. So we have a little calculator. You're going to run some numbers in there. You're going to back into those goals. We just talked about that a few minutes ago. And then we're going to teach you a ton of time management and blocking. We're going to teach you the power that lies within 1 hour of your time of dedicated time blocked focus. How to manage your time as a seller. And by the way, if you run a company and you're a coach, it doesn't matter. You're a seller. You are a sales professional. How to work closest to the money. You want to start and end your day closest to the money. What happens when you don't time block. We're going to go through a whole bunch of time management and time blocking stuff here. We're going to teach you and have you run metrics that matter. What do you track? We have very specific things that we track. And also, you need to know the difference between vanity metrics and money metrics. They're not the same things. And one does not mean anything about the other, by the way. These are all the different things that we're going to have you tracking every single day, every single week, every month and quarter, all year long in this program. Okay, so you can literally see your success and see that you are moving closer and closer and closer and closer to your goals. The next training is going to be the different types of calls that you and or sellers can be doing in the company to qualify, to nurture, and convert. Okay, so we have triage calls, strategy assessment or audit calls, connect or market research calls, and sales calls, which are business meetings. These are the main types of conversations that you will be having that we are going to have you master. Okay. The next training is database management and tracking. We use GroupTrack. You can use whatever you want. We'll be giving affiliate links in the program. We'll be showing you how to get it set up, how to use it. I would say that, 75 to 80% of our social selling is done with GroupTrack, and the rest is done by my team. So if you're someone who feels like you're sitting in DMs all day and you're tagging and you're adding group members, and then if you don't have a tracking system, I did a video on this in the free Facebook group yesterday. If you're not in Coach's Community, go over there, because I literally did a training on how we database manage every single lead that comes into our ecosystem ridiculously well. And we use GroupTrack for that, but you guys can use anything. So we are going to help you set up your database, okay? How to do the commenting and tracking, how to do the lead management, how to set up tags and filters. your dream 100, 500, 1,000, and 5,000. And then what are the dream 100 touch points? So you build in this list of, 100 clients you want to work with, or 500 clients, or 1,000 or 5,000, right? Whatever your goal is. You're building a list where you know them inside and out. You are nurturing them, building trust with them, relationships. You want them in your program. You want to work with them. What are you going to do in terms like touch points? What do you do to get those people moving really fast and have them like come to you and say, I want to join your program. I want to work with you. What does that look like? What's the next steps? How do we do that? You literally can build a list of people that these are your dream clients. You want to work with them so bad. And you can literally we give you, in the program, we give you a huge PDF of all the different touch points. And then we teach you how do you use those touch points every week, every month to move these people into your program, paying you. They become paying clients. This is critical. Most of you open up social media and you're like, who am I closing today? Where am I getting a sale? What strategy should we use today to close a sale? And what we want to teach you is the power of a database. So we will help you set all this up. The next training is going to be learning my sales call conversion framework. I close 98% of every sales conversation I have had for the past 9 years using the system. When millionaires hire me, this is the conversion framework I teach their sellers. And all of my clients that use this close between 80 to 90% of every sales conversation they have. It's not even a joke. It's proven. Like, you plug this one thing in and you'll already see your conversions increase. It's literally like magical. It's just been like 9 years in the making that I have created and tested this across everything. It isn't even a joke. It's just proven. It just is what it is. It works. So even if you're already having conversations, just this one part of the training will already increase your conversions. Okay. You will not convert less than 80 to 85% of your calls if you use this framework. That's it. That's amazing. So we're going to teach you all of this framework. It's an 8-step process. It's funny too, because we are like just over 8 years of using this successfully amongst a ton of different niches. So that's kind of cool. We'll teach you how to use energy of being very neutral. This right here is going to be gold for you. If you're having sales conversations or someone on your team is doing it, literally whatever your conversion is now, you can expect no less than 80 to 85% of conversions starting with your next sales call using this framework. It's ridiculous. So we're going to walk you through that, and you'll know how to do that for the rest of your life. The next training is the assets that do the heavy lifting for you. I am astounded at the amount of content people create today compared to the amount of sales that they make. I've never seen anything like it. I have never seen so many humans create so much content and create such little amount of sales in all my life. We have a sale a day. So we close one sale ranging from $7 to $20,000. We have a sale a day and we create 3 pieces of content a week. I don't know what is going on, but like people are creating so much content, which is great if you love that. But if it's not converted, I don't understand the point of creating all of it. To me, that logically as a sales coach doesn't make sense. Like if I'm not making money from like all this effort, I don't even see the point in doing it. So we want to show you how do you create content that actually converts. What is your group growth strategy and goals? How do you leverage your content to do 90% of the heavy lifting and selling for you? Learning how to lean on your content strategy to fill up your sales pipeline. Your content can literally close sales for you when you do it right and when you know how to talk inside of it. And you have a strategy and a system, guys. And then what is content versus visibility? Not the same things. Okay. The next training, becoming a trusted advisor. I don't care who you are. You could be Tony Robbins. I don't care who you are. People have to trust you. People need to believe that what you're doing is proven, that it's going to work for them, and they can see themselves doing it. Okay? They can see themselves doing it. You need to be a trusted advisor to your audience. If your audience doesn't get what you do, They don't know you exist. They don't see that you have a system. They don't see that you have a proven process, and you can't communicate the result in transformation. They're not going to give you their money. It's just not going to happen. We want to show you, whether you are the coach and the seller in your company or you have a seller, you've got to be seen as a trusted advisor or nobody's giving you their money. Okay? The next system is follow up without being a freak or feeling really foolish. People come to me all the time. I can't believe the amount of people that don't follow up. I can't believe the amount of people that resist following up. They would rather go out and throw time and money at acquiring brand new leads that don't even know them yet than to go back to people already in their ecosystem and follow up with people. When I ask people, why don't you follow up? There's millions of dollars in following up. Why are you leaving that money on the table? And it's silly things. Well, I don't want to be annoying. I don't want to bother people. I don't want to invade their space or be like a freak. What I want you guys to understand is there's a way to follow up, but you need to follow up. And so we want to teach you ways to follow up that people are actually expecting you to do it. Like they want you to follow up. How do you create ways where people expect you to follow up? They want you to. And then what do you say inside different types of follow-ups? Okay, because yes, truth of the matter is you can be really weird about the way you follow up and it can create sales resistance and erode trust super fast. We want to teach you what not to do. So we have also do's and don'ts. And then the 10th training is the DM strategy, our authentic DM strategy. Regardless, if you're closing on calls or you're closing in DMs or from your content, it doesn't freaking matter. We want to teach you how to sell effectively in a way that works with human behavior and not against it. So we do have a DM strategy that will teach you if you choose to sell inside DMs, or if you choose to just create conversations in the DMs that lead to sales. Okay. So we're going to show you how do you create those DM conversations without asking people, like people DM you or ask you to DM them, not you go out and start randomly like DMing people for no reason or chasing people around. That's just weird. We want to show you authentic DM conversations. How can you host a triage in the DMs? How can you do sales in the DMs? The DM do's and don'ts. And how do you move leads through a DM conversation? So many people are like, I get in the DMs and people just try to pitch me, or we start having a good conversation and then they fall off or they stop talking. And how do you keep moving them through? First of all, it starts by not sending weird DMs to people you don't really know or have a relationship with, and you don't even know why you're in the DMs, right? Like that's just weird. Obviously, that conversation is going to be awkward. We want to teach you how to create them so people are saying either DM me or let me DM you, not the other way around. This is like, obviously, this is the curriculum, but this is going to be very much a live coaching as well. So there's going to be other things we're going to be teaching you. These are just like the bucket curriculum. Within it is a lot of different things that we're going to cover and teach you. Okay. The structure of sales school is 1 week of teaching and learning with 15-minute sales breaks. So once a week, we're going to get on Zoom. I'm going to teach you one of these things that we just talked about. You're going to learn how to go off and do it. And we're going to also do 15-minute sales breaks so that we are generating sales and we have action happening on the spot every week when we meet. I do this in all of my programs, and I have clients who generate sales and conversations while we're on our coaching call. So it's great. You're going to have a week of implementing and building your sales skill muscle. So you're going to take what you learned in that week's training and you're going to implement and you're going to test it and you're going to work it. You're going to do the work, right? We're going to build that sales muscle. And then you're going to have a week where we jump back on and we evaluate and we co-work and we role play and we improve. So every single week you are improving your skills, you're improving your results, you're improving your resilience, you're improving your mindset, all of the things, okay? It's going to come through evaluations. So we'll have you submit in certain things for feedback. We're going to have you submit certain numbers, certain things. Based on what we're working on that week, we're going to give live, real-time feedback so that you can just completely improve and master the process along the way. We're not just teaching you stuff. You're going to be implementing, learning, improving, and being evaluated. We are going to have co-working and role play. So you're not just going to have this in theory, but you're going to get with your fellow peers in sales school, and you guys are going to do this together. You're going to role play. We're going to do some live co-working. You're going to be taking action. This is a very actionable program. This is not just sit back and learn some strategies, okay? And improving. You will be improving every single week, okay? And then we're going to have 1 week of resting, resetting, grounding, and rewiring. You are going to be learning things that you're not learning in any other program. Any other thing you've invested in, this is so different. And so it's going to bring up a lot of stuff for you. There's going to be a lot of inner work, mindset shifts. There's going to be belief systems that you need to rewire. There's going to be work to be done. And so you're also going to be learning a lot of things that you never learned before. You're going to hear me say things that are against what most people say. It's going to be a lot of transformation for you. And so we need to have rest time in there. We need to have downtime. We need to have grounding time. And so it's basically, we're going to meet two times a month, guys, okay? 1 week for coaching or teaching and learning, and also sales breaks. And then 1 week of coming on and getting feedback, being evaluated on what you're working on, getting live feedback, co-working, role-playing. And then you have a week to implement and a week of rest. So we are going to meet 2 times a month in this program. And then there's a week of implementing and a week of resetting. Okay. So when you come back every week for the next training and the next round, you're feeling amazing. Okay. Certification in this program is optional. We can discuss that at a later time. Certification is optional. It's something that we're going to be adding in here where you can become a certified sales professional with a stamp of approval that you are officially equipped and knowledged and skilled with human behavior sales psychology training and techniques. And that's going to go over really well for those of you, that want validation or credibility, inside of your niche. Okay. Now, every lesson is going to come with workbook, resources, action steps, and homework, because we're going to have you submit certain things every week. And then I'm going to be giving you literally live feedback on each thing that we're working on. So it's going to be, like I said, we'll have the 2 monthly calls on Zoom. And this is where we have a week of teaching and learning with 15-minute sales breaks. And then a week of you going off and implementing. And then we'll have another week where we're going to evaluate, co-work, role play, improve. And then a week of resetting and resting and just grounding. Okay. So it's 2 monthly calls per month. It's a private group community. We have a curriculum training with all these lessons here that we told you we're going to be teaching you and doing with you live every single week. Those are all going to be in a curriculum for you as well. And then we're going to be doing a group onboarding kickoff call to figure out what are your goals, how do we back into them, what is the fastest path for you to get there, what are you already doing that we can pour some rocket fuel under, what should you expect in the program, how do you get the most out of it, what you can expect, we'll answer your questions, all of that. The investment in the time. So it is a 12-month program. It is renewable. You'll get locked in at the rate that you join when you join. So as long as you stay in the program and renew, then you'll be locked in at that rate. If you leave and come back, you pay whatever it is at that time. It is a 12-month program, and no, we do not have it for 4 months or a test, or can you come in for a month and try it? No, this is for people serious about their sales skills and making a lot of money in their business and having less objections. Like, this is for you if you're serious. This isn't for you to be like, I don't know, let me try it for a month and see if I'm interested. This isn't for you. Okay. It is a 12-month program. You think of going to college. You go to college to become a heart surgeon, you're in college for years. If you want to really truly be a human behavior sales psychology specialist at sales, then yes, it's going to take us 12 months to get through the curriculum and for you to build those skills. It's going to be about 2 to 3 hours a week. We want you to budget, but that's for the training, the implementation, getting my feedback. That's your participation. It's also implemented in your business. So that's pretty cool. 2 to 3 hours a week. If someone does not have that time to put into their business, they should get a job flat out. I don't know anyone that's working less than that. So it isn't a huge commitment because we're teaching you where to focus. Right now, a lot of you work 8, 10 plus hour days, and it's because of the strategies you're using and the lack of your ability to sell fast every single day. We want to teach you how to stack sales upon sales every single day in 2 to 3 hours a day. So for this program, you will commit somewhere between 2 to 3 hours per week just on the program because, again, you're implementing, you're learning a new strategy or a sales skill, then you have to implement it, and then you have to submit so I can give you feedback, and we're improving along the way, right? So it's very much a program you need to be involved in. That's how you're going to gain the skill. So that's what the time commitment looks like, about 2 to 3 hours per week. And then the payment options, we have actually 3 options. It's $5,000 if you want to pay in full for the year. And if you do that, you get Daily Voxer with me for the 12 months, which is a $5,000 value every 3 months. So that's an awesome value. That also means you get a month free because it's $450 a month for 12 months, or it is 6 payments of $900. These will all go up in 2024 when we open up the next round of cohort. So that's what this looks like. It is not open right now. We have the wait list. The next round is going to begin January 2023, but registration and saving your spot and getting you into this pre-work where we can begin to build out your sales machine and get the human behavior sales 101 under your belt. That registration will be opening up soon. So for January 2023 cohort, we are limiting this. So my team just said max of 30. So we are limiting the next round, the next cohort to 20 to 30 spots. We had over 50 women jump on the wait list yesterday and today, which is crazy. We just opened this wait list last night at 6 or 7. And we have over 50 amazing women, last time I looked, that had already jumped on the wait list. So we are going to limit it to 20 to 30 spots because this is a very interactive time that we're going to spend together. This isn't like, here's a thing, I'm going to teach you, go do it, have fun, goodbye. I'm literally going to have you submit things. I'm going to be working with you. I'm going to be guiding you, giving you feedback. You're going to be making improvements. And this is super interactive. So we are going to limit this next cohort round to 20 to 30 people. When those spots are full, it's closing until 2024, January of the following year. And so registration will open up soon. When that opens up, you're going to get plugged into pre-work. You're going to get plugged into an onboarding call. Like, we're going to get you started with some sales, human behavior psychology, some sales 101, also some things you can do right now to pour rocket fuel under what you're already doing so you can start increasing sales before our time starts. And then January is when we will begin the actual curriculum of the program, which if you're tuning in late, you can just go back and check that out. You can literally see what we're covering, what we're doing, what it looks like, what's included, what the time commitment will be, the investment. If you are a coach or a consultant and you have a social seller or social sellers, or if you plan to hire any social sellers in your company for January 2023, you can invest in this for them, and you can participate as well. But what I'm saying is, if you want your social sellers to increase their performance and become top performers inside of your company and learn how to actually sell and increase their performance, you can put them through this program. Okay, that's why we said it's also for social sellers. It's not geared towards social sellers, but social sellers can come in and learn this, and they will make more money for you. So if you are an established coach or consultant and you have a social seller or two, or you want to have that by 2023, or it's like on the books to hire, or maybe you're in the process of doing that now, and the performance isn't where you want it to be, or you're finding yourself having to train them on sales stuff that you don't even really know, this would be a great thing to put them in, and you could invest and plug them into this, okay? But it is for established coaches and consultants. That's who sales school is going to be best for, okay? And then your social seller, or if you are a social seller. So if you have questions, I will go ahead after this is done, and I'll go ahead and drop the waitlist link below. If you want the link to the waitlist, if you just want to get on the waitlist so you can be the first to know when those spots open up, go ahead and comment waitlist below, and we will send you the waitlist link so that you can get on. Like I said, I think last time I looked, we had over 50 women on the waitlist. We're going to open it up to about 20, a max of 30 people for the first next cohort round. And then it's closed until the following year. So if you are someone that you just know you need to get better at selling and you want to increase your sales skill, if this is on your radar, if this is something that you know you've chased enough strategies, what you need, you don't need any more strategy. You really need to learn sales. Then this is for you, 110%. Okay, so we will be teaching business, we will be teaching strategy, but you need to learn how to sell inside of those things. So that's who this is for. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope this answered everybody's questions. If I didn't cover or answer a question, please let me know. If you need something else from me, let me know. I tried to answer everything that everybody's been asking. But again, if you still have questions, send me a message, let me know. If you would like the link to the waitlist, let me know, comment below. I will go ahead and send you the link privately to the waitlist. All right, guys, happy sales. Go make money. See you guys soon.